Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Ali, and in this video we're going to talk about how to create dynamic scenes using panoramic images. And I'm also going to show you where to get those images from. Now, these type of images, they tend to look more attractive and engaging, especially that, it gives a little bit of a dynamic feel and kind of like a 3D parallax effect. But there's more into the 3D parallax effect when you work with individuals inside of the background. But for now, we will just animate, the whole background and get it to move in a dynamic feel, and also animate our characters. So it gives us that, dynamic feel when we play it. So let's go ahead and start with our media files, and then I'm gonna drop this background that I downloaded. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and expand this image up until 8 seconds maybe, because the longer the duration it is, the smoother it is. So let's go ahead and start with moving our background to the very right side and also line it up with our frame. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and add a custom animation. So I'm going to go to properties, add position, and then easing will be linear for both, in and out. And then I'm going to click on my first keyframe, click on my background here to make sure this is going to be my starting point. And then I'm going to click on my second keyframe, and then I'm going to move my background to the very left side and also line it up with my frame like that. Now, next up is to go ahead and expand the duration between keyframes so that we have a slower motion like that. And let me go ahead and play this for you. Now you can see how lovely it is to get your background to move, and also, have your characters, do some actions inside of it. So it looks a lot more engaging when we do that. So next up is to go ahead into my studio, and then I'm going to go ahead and, bring my characters. So we'll start with the lion, and we'll drop that into my canvas. And then I'm also going to get I'm going to get all my characters and then, animate them the way I want to. So we'll get our bear. And then next up, we'll get that bird and close this out. And let's get every character in position. So we will start with the lion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this lion walk from the left to the right side, but I'm going to get him out of my my scene like that. And then I'm going to click on my wave action and change that here from wave to walking. And then I'm also going to expand the animation for the duration of my background. And then next up is to go ahead and add some custom animation. So I'm going to click on add animation, go to properties, choose position, easing, linear for both. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on my first keyframe right here. When it turns blue, that's where I know this is my starting point. Click on my lion here. And then I'm going to click on my second keyframe. And then I'm going to move the lion character from the left side to the right side out of my canvas like that. And I'm also going to expand the duration between both keyframes so that the walking animation is smooth like that. And I'm going to keep it a little bit earlier than the second, keyframe of the background, as you can see right here. Let me just expand the timeline here. And then next up, we want to go ahead and animate our bear. So we will go ahead and resize him and place him on top of the rock right there. Like that. And then I'm also going to change the action for the bear. And then we will choose it was juggling. Let's just get this bird away. And then I'm going to go ahead and expand the animation for this bear as well for the duration of my background. Make sure that they're all aligned together. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my custom animation. Go to properties, choose position, easing, and that will be linear for both. And then I'm going to click on my first keyframe, and then I want to position my bear once again on top of the rock right there. And then next up is to click on my second keyframe and then have the bear move to the left side. Now I want to make sure that, the animation of the bear is lined up with the rock while it's moving. So he never moves off of the rock. So let me show you how to achieve that. Is by, clicking on the second keyframe of the animation of the bear, and then by looking here at the background outside of my canvas, I can still see, my blurred background, and I can position the bear where I want him to be. So if I go ahead and start playing this, and let's see what happens. Now you can see he is already moving with the rock. Now we will, rearrange the order of the characters. I'm just, applying some of the custom animation right now to make sure that everything is in position. And then we will reorganize our characters in order to make sure that the bear is, underneath the lines layer. And then we'll go ahead and resize this toucan and, maybe get him to fly. And then we're going to change the action from wave to flying. Like that. And I'm also going to expand the animation and align it with the duration of the rest of the elements. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead and add some custom animation. So we'll go to properties, add position, easing, linear for both. And then I'm going to click on my first keyframe and click on my bird character right here. Make sure this is going to be my starting point. And then I'm going to click on my second keyframe and move the bird, to the very left side of my canvas, just like that. And then expand the duration between both keyframes so that the flying action is a little bit slow, but we can just keep it for about 6 seconds. We don't want him to take that, the whole time, flying from the right side to the left side. Now let's go ahead and change the order of the line layer and get him on top of the layers like that. Right click, remove excess tracks, minimize the timeline one more time, and we'll go back and play this and see how smooth it is. Super attractive, getting our backgrounds to move and our characters are making some actions inside of the background. This was applying some custom animation to, add some dynamic effects to our background. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to do this using, camera effect instead of, custom animation. So let's go ahead and delete all of those and start from scratch. And then I'm going to go to my files again. And this time I'm going to grab this background. I'm going to exit my files. And now you can see it's the same thing. If I zoom out, you can still see that the image has, a right side of it and a left side outside of my canvas here. So instead of, expanding, what I can do is click on fit to the canvas so that it fits inside of the canvas. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to my studio and then add my character first of all. And this was Joe. So let's grab this guy, resize him, and get him in position. I'm going to change the action from wave to walking, like that. And I'm also going to expand the animation for this one. Now I may want to do the same for this background and also, expand it to about 8 seconds, like that. And I'm also going to expand the animation of my character and align it with my background duration. And then next up is I'm going to go ahead and add some custom animation to my character just to get him to walk from the left side to the right side. So I'm going to go to properties, add position, easing, linear for both. And then I'm going to click on my first keyframe right here and click on my character to make sure this is going to be my starting point. And then click on my second keyframe. And then I'm going to move my character. Let me just, all right, I'm going to move him to the right side of the background like that, maybe scale him down a little. And then I'm going to expand the duration between the keyframes so we have a slower motion. Just like that. And then next up, we're going to go ahead and add some camera effect to this. So let's go ahead and go to components and then drop our camera onto the canvas. And so we want to double click here on the timeline to add an animation to our camera. And then again, I want you to think of the camera effects the way how you animate it is that it has a starting point and an ending point. The starting point is where you get your playhead before the animation instance, and then you can, choose the dimensions of your camera frame. And then your second point or your ending point is when you get your playhead right after the animation instance. And then you also define the dimensions of your camera frame wherever you want it to be. So we will start with our first point or starting point, and then we are going to scale down our camera. Move from the left side to the right side. Maybe you want to expand it, but just make sure, with this background being fit inside of the canvas, you will have enough space for the camera frame to move from the left side to the right side, to give you that dynamic feel. So let me try and make it as small as possible. Just look great like that. And I'm going to move my playhead right after the instance of the animation, and then I'm going to resize it or scale down my camera frame and then move it right here. And so I want this to be a little bit slower, so I'm going to expand the duration of the animation of the camera like that. And I want it to start from the very beginning and move along with the character to the right side. So let's just do that now and see what that looks like. Now this was a little bit faster, so I guess the next thing is to go ahead and change the easing from smooth to linear, in and out, and expand this a little like that. And let's go ahead and play this. Nice. So we have our movements done really, really nice. It's just a matter of fine-tuning the walking action with the keyframes. But then other than that, this is how you can add some dynamic feel to your background using camera effect. So let's go ahead and delete this, and I'm going to show you the last background. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the camera effect as well, and then start from scratch. And I exit the camera mode. And I want to actually remove it, and then go to my files, bring this space background. And then I want to exit my files, and I'm going to go ahead and get my background to move in from the left side to the right side. So this is my starting point. I'm going to go ahead and expand the duration of the background as well to about 8 seconds. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some custom animation. So I'm going to go to properties, position, easing, linear. Click on my first keyframe, click on my background here to make sure this is going to be my starting point. And then I'm going to click on my second keyframe and then move my background to the very right side of it and align it with my canvas frame like that. And next up is to go ahead and expand the duration between the keyframes until the end. So the duration is going to play for 8 seconds. And let me show you that right now. Easy stuff. Now, next up is we're going to go ahead and get our new character, the astronaut. And then we want to change the action from wave to flying on a rocket. And then I'm going to flip him like that. I'm going to get him to move from the left side to the right side. So this is going to be my starting point. I'm going to expand the animation again for the duration of my background. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some custom animation. So go to properties, position, easing, linear, and click on my first keyframe. Click on the character as a starting point, and then click on my second keyframe. And then I'm going to get my guy to fly out of my scene like that. And I'm going to expand the duration between keyframes so we can have a longer period of animation. So let's go ahead and play this and see what that looks like. Looks pretty cool, right? I'm sure you guys will love it. I hope you guys enjoy this. And next up, I'm going to go ahead and show you where to go to get those type of panoramic images. So here we are on freepik.com. This is my go-to website whenever I need some content for my videos. I can always search for vectors, illustrations, templates, fonts, mockups, and backgrounds. There are so many, graphics that you can get from this website. And they do have, their free version and their premium version. Now, I'm a subscriber, but you don't have to. You can always, use their free version to get some of the graphics that are really cool to use inside of the video. So next up is I'm going to go ahead and search for background illustration. And then I'm going to hit enter. And then in order for you to get the panoramic images, what you need to do here is to come on the left panel of the website and then choose panoramic. So this is going to be the dimension of the image that you're looking for to achieve the dynamic effect. And then if you're not a subscriber, you can easily just click on the free icon here, and that'll give you all the free images that you can use from this website. And you can see here that we've got all the panoramic, images that you can choose from. You can scroll down and find all the images that you might be interested in. There are so many images. You can scroll down until the bottom of the page. You click next, and it's going to take you to the next page to show you, more graphics. So they do have, 200 pages just for searching using the generic keyword of background illustration. But you can, search with any keyword that you'd like. It doesn't matter, but what matters is making sure that you look for the, panoramic images. And if you're not a subscriber, you click on the free icon to give you all the free images that you can use in your videos. And so other than that, what you can do, let's say, for example, you're looking for a specific format of your images. So you can, search for vectors, you can find photos, PSD, or icons. So it depends on, how experienced you are with Adobe products. I use Illustrator and I use Photoshop. So that's why, I can, identify the format of my files by, choosing vectors or PSD to make some adjustments to my images and work with them just like that. So once I like an image like that, let's say, this is going to be the one. I'm going to click on it and then, download it. You can see here, this is going to be an EPS format, but they also give you a JPEG format inside of the files, as well as the source file, which is, EPS or vector that you can work with on Illustrator and adjust it the way you want to. So if you want to get more advanced with your dynamic feel and, create some 3D parallax effect, you would have to use Illustrator and export individual elements inside of your background to animate them individually. And this way you can achieve 3D parallax using the panoramic images. So that's it for the tutorial. I really hope you find this helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.